You know, I believe that if you have been watching a lot of adverts on food, you have come across the common sentence, this is vetted and approved by the FDA. Most of the times we ask ourselves if we are really sure if those things we are hearing is really vetted and approved by the FDA. Today, I'll be speaking with the Regional Director for the Food and Drugs Authority here in the Northern Region, Mr. Martin Kusi. He'll be helping us to understand the mandate of the FDA and how we can get our food and drugs authorized, registered, and accepted by the FDA before we have them in our markets. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you have been doing that the wrong way. Well, don't worry. Just stay glued to your TV set and I'll be sure to give you nothing but the best information and education. Do stay tuned. I am Martha Anabila. If you deal in food and consumables and you are looking for the right place to get the information, then it is this episode on the Reflection Show. Welcome, sir, and thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, madam.
We've heard so much about the FDA, and sometimes I believe the only thing some of us might have heard is this is vetted and approved by the FDA. This is vetted and approved by the FDA. What is the FDA all about? What is your mandate? What do you do? And why do we keep hearing vetted and approved by the FDA?
Okay. Thank you very much. And then the Food and Drugs Authority is a government agency under the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
So we have an act, that's the Public Health Act, Act 851, 2012.
Okay.
That's where we derive our authority or mandate from.
Okay.
Okay, but before that, I just want to give you a little background about FDA. For some time back, I think about 20 years ago, there was no FDA.
Okay.
So the work of the FDA was being done by Pharmacy Council and then Standards Authority or Standards Board. Then over the years, through conventions, it became apparent that,
we have an FDA.
You should have an FDA. So part of the mandate of the food, the Pharmacy Council was couched, and then part of Standards Authority's mandate was also couched, put together to form Food and Drugs Authority. As the name implies, food and drugs. So our mandate is to regulate food and drugs. But when you take food, we can break it down into so many parts. For instance, when you take food, most people don't even know that, water is food.
Yes.
Yes. So under food, you have water. Under food, you have what we call pre-packaged, like tin, tomato, tin fish, tin milk, and others.
The drinks.
And then the drinks. They all come under, food. And then with food again, we do a lot of collaboration with other stakeholders like Environmental Protection Agency, Environmental Health. For instance, FDA is supposed to inspect slaughterhouses, but we don't do that alone. We do that with veterinary services and then environmental health.
Okay.
So, and then again, like street food, you see a wache joint or maybe a chop bar, because the mandate of the FDA is too wide. We cannot do it all. So we have these agencies which assist us to undertake this mandate, as I'm saying. So necessarily you will not find maybe an FDA person around the street, maybe where they sell cocoa. But of course, we are underground with the environmental health people to make sure that the cocoa that people take, is safe. So the mandate of the FDA is to make sure that products that are on the market
Make sure the food itself is safe.
is safe. The medications, anything that we take in or we use on our body. The FDA regulates cosmetics, household chemicals, medical devices.
Wow.
Yes. And then vaccines. I think you have heard about this COVID-19 vaccines. You hear
a whole lot
FDA, FDA has approved whatever.
Some FDA had issues with them.
Yes.
They had to go back to
Yes.
check them before they gave it to
That
us.
is it.
Yeah.
So we have a very broad mandate, and we are trying to gradually fulfill them. It's not easy,
Okay.
but gradually.
Yes, because I think that it's like Yatiabre, FDA approved, FDA. And I'm like, what is this FDA approved? So how do I get my products registered up that I am with the FDA? So maybe somebody's watching, I want to start, because we have a lot of these things on the market. We have a lot. And sometimes I wonder if they are really, really, really approved by the FDA. So first of all, let's start from me, the consumer. How do I really know that this product I am using, I don't want to use any product example, not to advertise it, but let's say I'm holding a bottle of water, a bottle of a drink, or a tin meat, fish, or tomatoes. How do I really know that it's FDA approved?
Okay, thank you very much. I want you to let us go back a bit so that it's a process. So we'll get to where you will get to know whether the product is registered or not. So if one wants to process or add value to a product like water, I think when we were kids, we used to fetch stream water and
just drink.
Well
and drink.
And then later on, we had pipe-borne water or borehole water. We used to fetch, and then we drank. Nothing happened. But because these days, of course, because of technology, people wanted to add value. So therefore, there are machines that one can, use to add value to maybe water or any product. So, for instance, with water, you have to get a facility, maybe a small place like this studio. So, the moment you make your mind, you have to come to FDA premises. Then we will take you through that. Fine. You have to get business certificate. That is from Registered General's Department. From there, you come back to us. Then you tell us your plans, that I want to bottle water, I want to put maybe water in rubber, that's what we call sachet water. So what should I do? Thank God these days, there are some machines from China, we call it Koyo machine. It is structured such that water from the borehole or from the tank goes through processes like filtration before it gets to the Koyo machine, before it's bottled or is cut into sachet water. So that's how the process is. But before the person starts production, even though it's water, we have some parameters that are supposed to be analyzed in the lab. Like we have to check salmonella, E. coli, bacteria. Yes, because for instance, if you have salmonella,
we don't even know what that is.
Okay, they are all living organisms.
Okay.
They basically can cause.
Okay, so organisms that are not supposed to be in the water. Okay.
Maybe if they are supposed to be, there are some parameters. Maybe you say between whatever. So if they are above, then
the water is not.
Yes, the analysis will fail. You have to go and then, for instance, if there's salmonella in your water, what it means is that there's like fecal matter has entered the water. So therefore, it becomes unfit for consumption. So you take the water sample to the lab, and then they will test for all these parameters, pH, whatever.
So every time I want to do production, I have to take it to the lab?
No. What you do is, before you start production, you have to go through all these processes.
Okay.
Then from the lab, when you pass, then you have to pay the appropriate fees. Then FDA will also take it to our lab. We also check what we call yeast and mold and other parameters. When everything is okay, you are given a number. So maybe...
Is that what we say, a NAFDAC number?
Okay, in Nigeria they call it NAFDAC.
Okay.
But Ghana here we call it FDA. Number. It used to be FDB.
Okay.
Food and Drugs Board, but now we are an authority, so it's FDA. Then the point is every locally produced item or product must have a number. But if the product is imported, it's not a mandatory, something to have a number on it. But any locally manufactured product must necessarily have a number. So if you get any product that is locally manufactured, like Cheeto, granite, peanuts, cereal mix, fonio, all these things, if you don't have any number on them, then you have to be suspicious of it, because every locally manufactured product must necessarily have a local number. It's like FDA stroke, whether the month and then the year. That's how it goes.
It's different from the expiring date, right?
It is totally different from the expiring date. Every product that's registered has, the registered number from FDA or Food and Drugs Authority.
Okay.
So that is it. So with water, you have it there, but the water, if it's a bottled water, you'll find the date of manufacturing and then the expiry date. Now boldly on it. And then if it's sachet water, because of the complexity of the Koyo machine that is used to, bottle or couch the sachet, it's a bit difficult to see. So unless you open your eyes very well, you will not see. So we have it there. It's written, maybe expiry date is like 3 months after manufacturing. So it's there, but it's a bit difficult to see. But so we are trying to talk to the manufacturers so that the expiry date or whatever will be very visible.
It's true. Sometimes you actually see it and it's fading off.
Yes, it's true.
So you're not even sure whether it's still good for consumption or not.
So this is the processes that one goes through in order to get the product registered, and then the market authorization is given for the product to be on the market. But of course, you also have to understand we have a lot of recalcitrant, people in the system. Some, especially with water, before you realize somebody is hiding somewhere, the person will produce in the night, early morning, it will be in a motor cane being distributed. But at least we have our men, and then any opportunity that we get to, educate the general public. Because the work that we do is a bit difficult, and then the mandate is so wide, we cannot be everywhere. So we try to always advise the public to feed us with information, so that if you live in a backyard where somebody is doing what we call clandestine manufacturing, it's like he comes around to look around when nobody is there, quickly he gets in, try to copy somebody's product, and then puts it on the market. We've been getting a lot of calls. Somebody will tell you, oh, in Gisonayeli, over a kiosk through whatever, there's a woman there sitting down there doing whatever, or a man trying to bottle quickly. Anytime we get that call, quickly we try to zoom in and then proceed to the place. I
hope you keep them anonymous, because I don't want to say something and my life will be in danger.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because we need information to work. Without the information, it will be difficult for me to know what is happening maybe in Yampala, at a corner somewhere, or in Lamashegu. So we feed on this information and then we act appropriately.
We've had concerns that your registration fee or your application fee to get our products out is very expensive. Why so?
Okay. I think we've been hearing these concerns, but the issue is, it is not the FDA that fixes the
prices.
It is from Parliament. Parliament approves these charges and then levies, and then we just try to implement. So if there's any issue, then we have to talk to our MPs to make sure that, because this money that we collect on behalf of government, it goes into the consolidated fund for development. It's not for FDA per se.
Wow.
Yes.
Also, I want to find out do you do regular checks? You mentioned that if, example like water, I bring a sample. So after you have tested the sample and it is gone, does it mean that every production I have to bring a sample again? Or that will now be a standard sample you expect me to be working with on every production?
Okay, it works this way. When you get your license, everything ready, and you start production, you go through this process of doing the analysis. When it passes, we give you the permission to. But over a period of time, like 6 months to 1 year, you yourself, you are supposed to take sample, to the lab.
Okay.
Then, because we request for that.
Okay.
Periodically to see whether
you are still working with the same standard or not.
So at times, they will take it to lab and then fail. Then we'll come back and tell you, now what is happening? You have to check your systems because at first you pass. So why is it that now you are failing? Then we could see that maybe if the person is supposed to change the filters, maybe the interval of maybe every week or two.
Okay.
Most of the producers are a bit recalcitrant. They will just overlook it, and then they will produce maybe for a long period of time, even
before
if
the
filters are dirty. Or we have something we call, we have some lights that kill, the bacteria that we don't see. If you think you are smart and then the lights, the period of the light, they have the burning hours weak, and then you don't change, the quality of the water is affected. So all these things are taken into consideration, and if you are not careful, the water will fail. So when we come, we'll be able to know that one, your luminary bulb is not working, you are not changing your filters regularly, you are not cleaning your tanks, so we check all these things and then we'll be able to advise you that no, wait, the reason why your water fails is due to A, B, C, D. So quickly fix all this and then you get quality water. So we try periodically to do what we call, training programs for them to understand, especially water, to make sure.
Okay. I want us to go for a break, but when we come back, I want us to look at cosmetics. Okay, cosmetics. How we can, especially because our skin is very delicate. Just stay tuned. We'll be back. It's very important that we actually stay keen to information that has to do with what we take in our system, because we have really overlooked some of these petty things that causes a lot of harm. And if we can really take our time, I believe that we can reduce the number of times we actually go to the hospitals, because food is what can help us stay strong and stay healthy. But at this part, I want to look at what we put on our body, especially my fellow ladies. We always want to look good. We always want to have all the creams in the world to look good. But maybe a lot of them are in the markets that are not right. Mr. Martin Kusi would be helping us to understand how we can identify the fake cream and skin products on the market. So how do I know? Maybe this is my color, I don't like it. I want to become fair within 1 month. And or maybe some too sincerely don't even know. They get recommended that, okay, go get this cream, you get a very beautiful dark skin, and they go and their skin becomes so messy. How do I know that this product in the market is not FDA approved?
Okay. With cosmetics, we are a bit challenged.
Okay.
For instance, most cosmetics that people are using here come from...
Are not produced in Ghana.
Ghana.
Okay.
They mostly come from Cote d'Ivoire or maybe through Togo. You see. The only thing I want to say is, you see, these days we have what we call skin lightening lotions.
Lightening, toning.
You see.
And whitening.
Whitening. That is where our difficulty, is. Anytime you look at your color. Anytime you take a cream or a cosmetic and then you're getting lighter, what it means is that there's a chemical called hydroquinone that is in it.
Okay.
You know, some time back, it was not really banned, but it's like the percentage of hydroquinone was supposed to be like between 2 to 5%. But then over the period, we saw that no, some are having over 15%.
Yeah, 25%.
So that people are getting lighter skins quicker, faster. So the higher the hydroquinone, what it means is that the quicker one's skins become
Some
lighter.
even take some tablets.
There's also,
that easily makes
yes,
it fair.
we even had episodes that, you know, ladies who are pregnant want to take some
tablets so
and
that
then
their baby will come out being fair.
You say, but all these things we have to be
ladies.
careful. Yes.
Wow.
So all that I want to say is that, you know, for instance, in this part of the world where we live as blacks, you know, God did not put us here for nothing. That is why, you know, we have this
beautiful black skin.
So there's something we call melanin. It protects us from, you know, ultraviolet, you know, rays, such that you will not get cancer. If you bleach, if you have noticed, you know, most ladies who bleach a lot, in the end, when you look at their back here or their neck,
even their faces
here on their chin here, you could see that they are still struggling. You know, it's not easy. It becomes bloodier and there's nothing they can do. For instance, if they are supposed to undertake any surgery, you know, the body there is not strong. When you stitch,
they can't
it can't, you see. So these are some of the disadvantages. And you become prone to skin cancers that we cannot cure in this part of the world. So my advice is that as, you know, human beings, we have to be very careful, you know, the type of cosmetics that we use. Because no matter what you do, you'll find some ladies, it's very appalling even. You see their faces, nice, but you look at their legs, black. So I look at it, I say, which color do you want?
Fanta and Coke.
Yes. You see. So here it's a bit difficult to tell which cosmetic, you know, one should go for. But you know, I think in Ghana, or with blacks, I think men like
some men like
okay, so men like light skin. You see.
And some too like very beautiful
skin,
like
of course.
You know, black is beautiful.
That is true.
Black is
absolutely
very beautiful.
But the thing is, in our culture, when somebody is fair, it's like
they feel the fair person is more beautiful. But no, see, I'm a very beautiful lady, so copy me.
So the general public should be very careful with the type of
and even the hair products.
The hair products.
I think that has become. I see a lot of ladies saying that they are losing their hair because of the kind of products that they are using. So, like you are saying that you are challenged. You are not being able to regulate them.
We are.
But the ones produced in Ghana,
that one of course. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I believe that you watching us right now have come to understand that for your own good, you should be able to make sure that you even patronize made in Ghana products.
Absolutely.
Look at my hair. That's my natural hair. So if you want your hair to grow well, use a lot of made in Ghana products. The biggest one, shea butter.
Yes.
Use a lot of
shea butter. Shea has a lot of nutrients for the hair and then for the skin.
Exactly. So you can use shea butter. It's even cheaper. Use shea butter, 1 cedi. Use some on your hair. Use some for your skin. And I believe that you wouldn't have a lot of these issues that we are talking about.
You know, with these unregistered cosmetics that are on the market, we periodically, you know, do what we call soups, market surveillance activities in the markets, in other shops, to just check
whether.
Yes, some of them we quickly
take them off the market. I think that there was a time I heard the FDA actually being hot on a lot of these things. But can't you find a way? Maybe I don't know whether it should be the Trade and Industry Ministry that you have to regulate that way to make sure that some of the things that are imported are passed through the FDA. Is that possible?
Oh yes, like if you go to Elubo, most of the cosmetics that are coming through from Cote d'Ivoire, you know, come through our office there. And then samples are taken to our lab, they are registered. But you have bits and pieces that come through unapproved routes.
Okay.
And that is a bit difficult for us. We only find them in the market, and those people don't really come to FDA to register. So when we go on our market surveillance activities and we see them, we quickly seize them.
So I've gotten my product out.
Yes.
I have the idea.
Yes.
Do you also give counseling or mentorship on the packaging, advice, and maybe the sales outlets and all of that?
No, I have a sales outlet.
You don't, but
Not
the
for marketing, no. But
packaging
is part of the processes.
Okay.
So we do what we call package or label evaluation to tell you that this color that you put together, if you can maybe add up this color and that color, and then the way you've written it, you have to maybe boldly, we try to evaluate to assist, producers to make sure that they have a very nice packaging. Because what we have seen is that, excuse you, quote unquote, even if the product is not good, but the packaging is, people will patronize. So I think getting the packaging right is almost about solving about 30% or 40% of your marketing. Yes, sir. So that is it.
Okay, so now let's look at the tin products.
Okay.
We have the tin tomatoes, the tin fish. We have a lot of tin products.
Yes.
Sometimes they might say that it will expire after 2 years of production. But can we help us to understand that the expiry date might be written on it, but how do I keep it so that even the container itself is not contaminated? Because it's tin.
Yes.
It can easily
get dented.
Yes, and it can go bad. So how do I even identify if my tin tomatoes or my tin food it's going bad, but the date on it is not yet
intact?
And just to add up to that, how do I also possibly preserve? Maybe I've opened my tin tomatoes. Do I just leave it that way in the fridge, or just also about the tin, how to preserve food in the tin?
Okay, thank you very much. One thing about tin products is that the expiry date can be intact, but then it can go bad due to storage conditions of the product. For instance, if you are supposed to store a product under temperature regime of 18 degrees.
Do we calculate that?
No, but when you pick a product, most often.
No, I know.
Storage,
I'm just saying Ghanaians, please.
Yes. Anyway,
let's change from now.
That is
because
true.
Sometimes you see every product, the temperature of this. We don't care. Oh, it says it's in the fridge. It's in the fridge.
The most appalling thing is that you go to the market, open market, and then you have the products displayed under the sun. You see, what it means is that this heat gets
tamale heat.
It's not easy.
Yes.
And then, so all that you see is that the container or the tin, whatever, has bloated.
Yes.
But the expiry date is intact. What it's telling you is that even though the expiry date is there, it's okay. The product has gone bad.
Okay.
That's what it means.
Okay.
And then again, when you're buying, you have to look for products that are dented. Dented means that, you have the metal, but it has carved in.
Okay.
You see, we call it a dented product.
Okay.
Because, in the processing, what they do is they put the product in a rubber and then put it in the tin. So when the product is dented or is carved in a way, what it means is that the probability of the rubber getting torn is high, such that the product will get direct contact with the tin, and then chemical reaction will start going on. So even though the product is not expired, you see it bloated.
Wow, that's
so. These are some of the things. So when you are buying, just open your eyes. Sellers are very smart. So when they tell you you buy 2, you get 1 free. When it's a dented milk or dented tomato paste or dented whatever. So please, if you have your money, make sure you buy a wholesome product.
Yeah, at the shops where you know that even if there's no fridge or AC there, but the sun hasn't got into them.
That is it. Because when you put it under the open sun, what it means is that chemical reactions have already started. So the expiry date is intact, but the point is, because of the sun's rays, it goes bad.
Can imagine
so let's be
what
very
we've been
careful.
eating. Ghana Standards Authority.
Yes.
I'm Mr. James. Hello, if you are watching us. But just tell us a bit of your connection with the Ghana Standards Authority.
Okay. Standards Authority they give us, they call parameters, requirements, standards to work with. For instance, Standards Authority will tell you that maybe in water, we should have maybe the pH should be
this number,
maybe neutral, or it should be maybe a bit acidic. They calculate all these things. They bring the standards.
Okay.
Then FDA takes the standards and they implement the standards, such that if you are producing water, and then you bring it and then we check the pH and it's more than what Standards Authority prescribes, means it has failed. So there are a whole lot of products on the market that, you know, Standards Authority prescribe the standards. Then FDA will pay the standards and then work with them. So this is basically the difference between FDA and then Standards Authority.
Yeah, because I think when I visited Mr. James in his office, I saw some measuring things. His office was full of some measuring stuff. It was like he's going to. So I was really wondering what all of those were.
Like Standards Authority, we have to make sure that, like cement, the strength of cement should be, I think, is measured in the amount of clinker. FDA has nothing to do with
those things.
The Standards
Authority. So they are like your right hand men.
Yes.
They have to give you those.
We collaborate very closely. Standards Authority is supposed to check the durability of, for instance, air conditions, fans, bulbs.
Okay, so it's not just about food, but the standard of things that we use.
Yes.
So just as you are with food, so they check your standard
food and drugs.
So those who are also on other things, they also get their standards from the Ghana Standards Authority.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Standards Authority, their operations are very broad, broader than that of FDA.
Yes, I'm getting to understand, and I think we should have him in our studios to help us.
Standards Authority goes to. I'm not here for Standards Authority, but
yes, of course
they go to.
Your office is by his office,
yes,
so
we are very close.
neighbors.
Yes, they check whether if you are buying fuel 10 cedis, you get the liters that.
Hey, like me, I report them. Papa.
Yes. So they do all those things.
They check that because sometimes you are going to buy fuel and they don't give you the right.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the mandate
I'm
of the
getting a bigger
Standards
picture
Authority.
now. So it means that the Standards Authority are supposed to give us the legally accepted resource benefits to all Ghanaians.
Yes.
So anything that I'm supposed to consume as a Ghanaian. So let's say if it comes to transport.
Yes.
They also check transportations and maybe they can also regulate issues concerning fares.
No, as
fares, well, they don't.
As for fares, I think it goes to. They have a.
Yes, okay.
There's a
unit,
group that does
but
that.
they also have
Ministry
a
of Transport.
Okay.
With the transport unions, I think they sit down and then come
okay,
out
the fares. Yes. But the Standard Authority checks how our
like tires. For instance, tires. You know, there are a lot of products.
The vehicles itself.
Okay, of course. If there's anything wrong, that Standards Authority can identify.
Oh, okay, I get that.
So, for instance, Standards Authority can come and tell that this particular type of tires cannot be used in Ghana because maybe the quality is whatever. I hope you understand. But with FDA, we are very much concerned with food and drugs. It's like things that human beings use or take in or on. Yes.
So, in Tamale, if I want to do my registrations for my product, do I have to go all the way to Accra?
Okay. The only issue is, you know, because we ourselves, like Food and Drugs Authority, cannot be like player and then referee at the same time. We allow you to take your product to any accredited lab. Then you go and do the analysis. Then you bring it to us. Then we'll look at it, whether it has passed or it has failed.
So I can do that in Tamale?
Some of them you can do in Tamale. For water, you can do in Tamale. You can do it at CSIR. And then some of the analysis also you can do at Spanish lab at Nyampala.
Okay.
But others you cannot do. You have to maybe travel to Kumasi. Or herbal, you have to go to Mampong or Kumasi. And if it's food, there's something we call like pesticide residue and other analysis. Here, the labs that are here cannot do that. So you may maybe go to Standards Authority or maybe Food Research Institute. or any other accredited lab that can do it.
So those used for the farms, if I'm producing a product like fertilizer, I would have to come to you or standards?
No, we don't have anything to do with fertilizer.
Oh, okay.
If you want to apply, the only issue is the challenge we have in the northern region here is the soil texture is not, because it's a savanna area. So you have to, anything that you do, you have to apply fertilizer. So people indiscriminately over apply fertilizer, so that what we call residue of maybe potassium, nitrogen, you understand, we found in the produce. So that if you go and do the analysis and you're not careful, you have higher levels of, which is not acceptable. You understand? And then again, for instance, with maize and then cereals, if you don't treat them well or you don't harvest them well and then you don't store them well, there's something we call aflatoxin. It's very dangerous.
What's that?
Aflatoxin, they are like some organisms that can cause cancer in cereals if you don't treat them well. So for instance, if you want to do like Winnie mix or Tom Brown or whatever, the maize that you need to do the Tom Brown to win and then get your Tom Brown will have to undergo, pesticide residue, check aflatoxins. So if you are not careful and, like as it's raining, when you go around, you see a lot of people harvesting their maize quickly. And then because of the spillage of the Bagre Dam, if you don't harvest, all your produce will go away. So because it's raining and then at the same time, you are harvesting. If you are not careful, you will come and put the products maybe on the floor in your house, thinking that maybe there will be sunshine the next day to dry. If you are not careful and the rain beats it for a period of time, and then you don't get really adequate sunshine, and then you store, the tendency is that if you are not careful, the product will be contaminated with aflatoxin.
Sometimes we see some whitish things around maize, like when you open them in a bag, or even like you said, even if it's in a bowl and you've covered it. So those ones are what? The whitish thing. Sometimes about to eat. I don't know how to describe it.
I don't know about that. But then the issue is, if you are not careful, aflatoxin, you cannot see them with your naked eyes.
Okay.
But the way from the farm to where it is stored, if you are not careful and it's contaminated, when you take it to the lab, aflatoxin, it will show positive. And aflatoxins are cancer, producing agents that if you are not careful, you understand, you can easily get cancer.
Wow.
You understand? So that's why we ask you to take it to the lab. And the challenge we are having is because anytime people are harvesting, it's raining in northern Ghana. So if you are not careful, so therefore the product fails, you understand? And then people will come back and say, oh, FDA is, no, there's nothing we can do. So we'll tell you to, again, check the source of your raw material. Before.
Let's look at alcohol.
Alcohol, okay.
I've seen vetted and approved by the FDA.
Yes.
Not sold to persons
under 18.
Under 18 years.
Yes.
How do you regulate that? I'm under 80 and I still don't take it.
That is very difficult. That is why with the advert, we tell.
You tell us that even sometimes pregnant women can even take under 18.
Yes. But that's also another difficult
thing to
regulate. But at least we try to talk to distributors or manufacturers that wherever you want to sell your product, we don't have a problem. But make sure that your distributors or your sellers will not sell to.
Don't you think that you are approving and vetting a lot of alcohol products?
Yes, but the point is
it because of the revenue?
No.
So anyone just comes, I want to produce a product and it's alcohol. And I'm wondering, we are a country of a lot of young people.
Yes.
And we are actually trying to even make sure that more young people behave well. But we see a lot of FDA and it's like under 8, and I'm like, don't you think so? Don't you think it's getting a bit too much? Can the FDA reduce some of the alcohol?
I think so, but there's nothing we can do because which law will you use to prevent somebody from
Producing
making
alcohol.
There's no law.
And I think we should even be lucky that they are coming to you to get
Yes,
it.
at least to make sure that they are okay, because there's nothing we can do. It's like these days you have a lot of people producing sachet water. Can you tell me
I
that?
was coming to that in Tamale.
Good. Can I say that no? There are a lot of sachet water producers
no, but that one is not harmful.
It's the same thing applies to, because somebody will tell you maybe he will not overdrink, but I don't want to go there. If you have your business plan and you bring it and then this is what you want to do, there's no law that says that there are a lot of alcoholic beverages on the market, therefore FDA should stop you from processing or producing it. We don't have that mandate, so we cannot go there. The same thing like food products. We can't say that there are a lot of shitter
in the market, so don't bring shitter.
So no, why do you have to go and then prepare shitter? Think about something different. So we work within the law.
But like what I'm trying to say is that there are some things like shitter eats food, it's nice and all of that. But alcohol, maybe we can think through deeply later on, and maybe maybe apart from you, if the FDA national director is watching, he could just maybe just have a little think through.
Okay.
Can we raise the standard to 20 years instead of 18 years?
Okay.
That could be also one of the measures.
I think regulation is dynamic.
Yes.
So what a product that can be registered today, maybe next 2 years when you bring it back,
exactly what I'm
will tell
saying.
you you have to bring further and better particulars.
Yeah.
So therefore you cannot register that product. So I think going forward we will have to find a way to have stringent measures going forward to make sure that it's like you don't open the floodgates for almost everything to come to.
And I think that raising the bar to 20 years would do us a lot of good before you can take it.
But everything is according to the law.
I have my reservations about that though. Anyways, it's getting quite interesting here on the mandate of the FDA and everything we need to know about them. Let's go for a break. We'll be back with more. Welcome back from the break. I believe that some of you would bore me because I said that let's move the bar to 20 years before you can take alcohol. But maybe to help more people in that regard, because a lot of young people I have seen who are taking so much alcohol hasn't really helped them. Maybe not raising the bar, but finding a better way to make sure that they reduce the intake of alcohol. And I believe that the alcoholic, those who produce alcohol will not be mad at me because I'm not going to lessen their clients or their consumers. Of course not. We just want to raise more healthy young people who can even stay stronger and later on even invest in your commodity. Mr. Martin Kusi here is the Northern Regional Director for the Food and Drugs Authority. He's helping us to understand all of that. And then if you missed the earlier part of it, he helped us to understand how you can get your products registered. Before we wrap up, he'll go over that briefly for us. Sir, I want us to look at the regional levels of the FDA. Okay. Is everything centralized in the capital, or there are some things which are decentralized? You spoke about there are some of the registrations I can just sit in Tamale here and do. Are they enough?
Okay, previously everything used to be centralized.
Okay.
But gradually,
we
are trying to decentralize. For instance, if you have a product that you want to register.
So let's say sachet water.
Sachet water.
I can do it in Tamale here.
Oh, of course, you do everything in Tamale here.
Okay.
And then it will be registered quickly for you. The only thing is that, of course, because we have a database, we have to make sure that anything that goes on here is
added to the database.
Yes. Okay. So this is what we are trying to do. Yes.
And then also with the EPA aspect that they go, and so does it mean that you always have to go with them, or they can report to you what they have seen for you to go and check?
Oh, EPA has a different mandate altogether. Okay. For instance, if you put maybe a processing factory here, they do what we call environmental impact assessment.
Okay.
For instance, if you are producing, let me use water. If you are using water and you have, it's commercial, you have a lot of machines, you have about 50 to 100 workers. You know, if you go to Accra, like Vortic, like Special Ice, you know, you have a lot of people working there. You know, not all the water is used. We call what we call wastewater. The wastewater must be treated, or we should handle side that you will not be like a spillage or get to other people's houses or whatever. You know, so what the EPA does is to check your activity, whether it will impact negatively on the environment or the people in the locality. Then quickly they will advise you that maybe you cannot site this facility here. You have to go to maybe somewhere that you don't have maybe a lot of people, something like that. That's basically their job.
Okay.
Or maybe you put a factory in town, it's producing a lot of smoke. Quickly, EPA will come in to check and then see or advise you that no, this factory cannot be sited in the center of town. So therefore, it should go to maybe outskirts. This is what EPA does, you know. Yes.
So for somebody who has started producing and has started the process, a lot of times we see people actually, they have begun the process, they have produced, they have done the packaging before they now even come to FDA to even register. So those kind of people, are they supposed to stop selling before they get the approval, or they can continue selling while waiting for the approval from the FDA?
So the point is, before you put any product on the market, you have to come to FDA to get what we call market authorization. What it means is that the product will have to go through that process to make sure everything is okay. We give you a number, but you know Ghanaians. So when we come, at times we have to lock up the place. But this day we are trying to be a bit
liberal.
Yes. So quickly we have to find a way to regularize, to make sure that you go through the process quickly. So that.
What is the average duration if I want to register my product? What's the average duration?
These days, you know, we have what we call fast track. Maximum 1 month you can get it, but it all depends on you. You see, the only impediment is you taking your product first to the lab for the analysis. That is where the delays are. Some of the people will tell you they don't have money. Some will tell you, especially when the product, the analysis cannot be done in maybe Tamale, then you have to find a way to travel. Especially most women who wouldn't like to travel far to maybe Accra, Kumasi. That becomes a bit of a difficulty. Other than that, it takes a very short period of time to register the product. If you're able to do your analysis today and bring it quickly, if everything is okay, the next week or two, you bring labels. We evaluate. If everything is okay, the product is registered. But the difficulty, the biggest challenge or hurdle is how to undertake the lab analysis to make sure that it has passed. And that gives the go-ahead, you know. That's where the delays comes in. And then because of maybe the amount of money, depending on the type of analysis.
Yeah, I was kind of, it's quite expensive.
Most people will tell you, I don't have money. And then before you realize, the person has abandoned it. And then, before you get to know, the person is doing it small, and then putting it onto the market. So you can see that there are a lot of people here in Tamale, or in the northern region here, who have come to our office, but up to now their products are not registered, but they are still producing small. And then we get them, and then they say, oh, we are sorry.
Do you arrest? Have you made any arrest that has taken someone even up to court? Maybe not Tamale, but in Ghana.
Oh, yes, we have done that, yes. In the south, yes. But these days, you know, we are trying to be a bit liberal. When you meet somebody like that, you try and then see the person, advise the person that, hey, listen, you cannot be hiding and be doing this. So why don't you go through the process once and for all, and then make sure that your product is registered. Then you can take it to other towns or other regions. We have a product in Tamale, I don't want to mention the name. It's doing so well, even people from UK.
Wow.
Last year, I think the company won an award from Free Zones.
Wow.
I think they had a brand new pickup.
Wow.
You see? So this is what is happening.
When COVID came, I said came because we didn't expect it. And it still doesn't want to leave, but you are leaving.
Yes.
We saw a lot of, even at the point where we're struggling to feed, FDA was out there, we should come and register our nose marks. And I was like, why?
Okay. You know, every product has a specification.
Okay.
But when we started, we didn't know.
Okay.
You know, so most people thought they could just sit in there, especially tailors.
And so.
So if you have realized these days, all those local ones that people started sewing, you know, the thickness was so high, you know, deep, you couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
How do you use?
About 2 or 3 layers.
Like a jeans or white grill or khaki. You know, you couldn't breathe. So gradually, even though people try to put, you know, fill the market with this nose masks or face masks, they've gradually faded off.
Yes, yes.
You understand? Because it becomes a bit difficult
because at that time, nose masks became so expensive.
Yes.
And we were also asked to always be in the nose mask.
Yes.
And even for the surgical ones and the ones that we use that you can dispose of, you could even buy one as much as 10 cedis. Like
Yes.
when at the height of COVID, even for the face shield, one could buy one at even 50 Ghana cedis. But now even one cedi.
What is face shield? Nobody even thinks about
Nobody even wants the face shield again. I belong to a entrepreneurs network group on WhatsApp, and we had a lot of discussions on that page, and a lot of people were trying to get their face masks registered, and the process they complained was hectic.
Oh no.
The amount they spent was hectic. I don't want to mention names, but
Okay.
if I mention names, I will mention someone's business name, and,
Yes.
and they haven't paid me for advert. So I just want to ask, why couldn't the FDA had even made it so simple for Ghanaians to register? But that time it was still so much.
But now it's so easy to register. Last week we had about 3 or 4 guys from Tamale. They came to our office. Now we have the machine. It's called a gauge.
Okay.
So when you bring the product, we put it in automatically. It's a digital something instrument. It will tell you the thickness of the mask, and then we are done with it.
Okay.
So simple these days.
So simple.
But you know, when we started, of course, anything new, it becomes a bit difficult.
You're still
As
putting
we
the
move on,
strategies in
yes.
place and trying to get the implementations right.
So as we speak now, we have a machine. Even in our office, I have one. You come, we put it in. When you meet the thickness, it's registered, finished.
Okay, sir. Let's have your final words. We have just a few minutes to go. The final words. Everything, anything. I mean, you think that our viewers need to have at the back of their minds about the FDA?
Okay, I think the FDA has become a household name here. Anytime somebody eats something or whatever or something happens, they will say, "Hey, where are the FDA?" I understand. That is good. We like that. But we alone cannot do the job. We need feedbacks, information from the general public in order to do our work well. So all that I'm saying is that we want to entreat the general public to assist us with information. There are a lot of people doing so many illegal things, you know, in our localities, and we are not reporting. Please give us this feedback, and then quickly we'll act on it to make sure that the products that are on the market.
I want you to assure us about keeping us anonymous.
Yes, that one I can assure you.
Where do we get your numbers? On your website?
On our website.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We don't have a Facebook page. But you can go to our website, www.fda.gov.gh.
Okay.
Or I can also put out our numbers here, our local numbers here.
Let's go to the website and get that as well, so that we can read more.
www.fda.gov.gh.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think that all of us should go. And I just want to add that those of us who are literate, and we have our mothers, our aunties who are not literate or not so enlightened about some of these things, after watching this episode, what you can do to really help them is finding out if their businesses or their business is really registered. Get to them, get to know how they are managing their business, so that you can help them to get some of these registrations done so that they don't get into trouble with the FDA. Some of them don't even know. I get so.
Yeah, that is true.
Some of them don't know. So let's help our fathers, our mothers, our family and friends, and make sure that they have the right registrations. And even with the registrar general department, some people might not even know that they have to even go and get their business registered with them, and we don't want to have these issues here and there. And please, anytime you are buying a product, please check the expiring date and make sure that it's not so much exposed to the sun, because we need to have you alive. And my ladies, black is beautiful. I'm not doing a campaign for any, but I want you to understand that black is beautiful. I am dark in complexion and I love it. This is my own hair and I love it. Of course, once a while we braid, we put on the wigs and all of that. But once a while too, let's leave our natural hair, get the shea butter, put on your hair, put on your skin, and you'll be sure to know that you are not at risk of getting your skin damaged. You are not at risk of getting your hair damaged. So please, this should be something you should reflect on after today. We are calling again out to anyone or everyone who wish to partner with us or sponsor the Reflection Show. 0549578 Please call us and we have wonderful and amazing packages for you. Thank you very much. Event happened for our wonderful set design here. It's been amazing reaching you in your homes, and a very big thank you to you, sir, for I know it's not been easy, always calling you to have me on our show, but today God being so good, I've really enjoyed the interview and I've really learned so much myself. So get to any FDA office in all the 16 regions, I believe. Get to their office and then you can ask all your questions. In Tamale, the FDA office is in the building of the Regional Coordinating Council. When you get there, you meet the Ghana Standards Authority, their neighbors from the Standards Authority. The next office is the FDA office. So you can do all of those inquiries there so that you don't end up being in trouble. Mr. James, of course, would have you here in our studio to tell us all about the Ghana Standards Authority. It's been amazing having you watch and listen to us. My name is Martha Anabila. Do have a good night.